Valerius Valens, a Roman emperor in the early 4th century CE, was a figure whose life was marked by military prowess, political intrigue, and the turbulent power struggles of the Tetrarchy period. His role in Roman history is often overshadowed by larger figures such as Constantine I and Licinius, yet Valens's brief reign as emperor reflects the complex and volatile dynamics of late Roman imperial politics. Valens was born in the early 3rd century CE, although the exact year of his birth remains unknown. His rise to prominence was not through imperial bloodlines but via a military career that saw him earn a reputation as a capable and ambitious officer. He served in various capacities within the Roman military, ultimately achieving the rank of a high-ranking frontier commander. His career seems to have been closely tied to Dacia, a region along the Danube frontier that had seen intense pressure from barbarian tribes. As commander in this volatile region, Valens was tasked with defending the empire against invasions, often clashing with various Germanic and Gothic groups. This made him a seasoned military leader, respected by his troops and those who understood the importance of Dacia in Roman defense strategies. Valens' military competence caught the eye of Licinius, the Eastern emperor, during the period of the Tetrarchy, a time when the Roman Empire was divided between rulers in the east and west. Licinius was engaged in an ongoing struggle with Constantine I, who ruled in the west. The political climate was one of fierce competition for supremacy over the empire, with various rivals jockeying for power. At the time, Licinius found himself in need of a trusted military leader to help strengthen his position, particularly against the growing threat of Constantine. In the early 320s, Valens was elevated by Licinius to the rank of Caesar, the junior emperor, as part of a strategic move to counterbalance Constantine's power. This elevation marked Valens as the 62nd emperor of Rome, though his rule was not one of peace or stability. Instead, it was a reign that saw him positioned in opposition to Constantine, caught in the web of civil war and political machinations. Valens was assigned a significant role in Licinius's efforts to fight against Constantine I. The two emperors, once allies under the Tetrarchy system, eventually became bitter rivals. The civil war between Constantine and Licinius unfolded in stages, with multiple confrontations, including battles in the east and west, as each sought to control the fate of the Roman Empire. As Caesar in the east, Valens played a crucial role in Licinius's campaigns. However, his leadership did not guarantee victory. Constantine, a master of military strategy and popular with his soldiers, eventually proved too formidable for Licinius and his allies. Valens' role in these military operations remains somewhat unclear, but it is likely that he was involved in the campaigns against Constantine's forces, which ultimately culminated in a series of defeats for Licinius. Despite Valens' efforts, the tides of war turned decisively in Constantine's favor. In 324 CE, Constantine decisively defeated Licinius at the Battle of Chrysopolis, near the Bosporus, effectively securing his position as the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. This victory was part of a broader pattern of Constantine's military successes, which saw him consolidate power and defeat his rivals. In the aftermath of Constantine's victory, Licinius was captured and exiled, but Valens's fate was more grim. While Licinius was allowed to live in relative obscurity, Valens was executed in 324 CE. The precise reasons for Valens' execution are not entirely clear, but it is believed that Constantine, seeking to solidify his control over the empire, viewed Valens as a potential threat to his rule. The execution of Valens was also a strategic move in the lead-up to a peace settlement between Constantine and Licinius. Constantine sought to eliminate any lingering potential for opposition to his rule, particularly from those who had once been aligned with Licinius. Valens, as a loyal supporter of Licinius and a figure who might have retained some influence, was seen as a danger to Constantine's new order. His death was a means of ensuring that no rival claimants remained to challenge Constantine's position. Valens's legacy is one largely shaped by his association with the power struggles of his time rather than any personal achievements that would distinguish him in the annals of Roman history. His reign as emperor was brief, lasting only a few years, and his execution marked the end of his career and his life. While there are no grand monuments to commemorate him, Valens's rise to power and his eventual fall serve as a reminder of the volatile and often ruthless nature of imperial politics during the time of the Tetrarchy and the early years of Constantine's reign. Though his reign was short, Valens is emblematic of the many military leaders and junior emperors who rose and fell in the tumultuous period of the early 4th century CE. His elevation and eventual execution at the hands of Constantine reflect the high stakes of political and military life in the Roman Empire, where survival often depended on the favor of the emperor and success on the battlefield. In the broader context of Roman history, Valens is often overshadowed by the figures of Constantine and Licinius, whose rivalry defined the period. However, Valens's role as a frontier commander, elevated by Licinius to oppose Constantine, places him within the larger narrative of the empire's transformation. His execution in 324 CE paved the way for Constantine to unite the empire under his sole rule, which would have lasting consequences for both the Roman world and the development of Christianity as the empire's dominant religion. Valerius Valens remains a somewhat obscure figure in the history of Rome, but his life and death provide insight into the intense power struggles that characterized the 4th century CE. His rise from a frontier commander in Dacia to a Caesar under Licinius, and his subsequent execution by Constantine, highlight the precarious nature of imperial power during this period. Valens, like many others in the Tetrarchy, was caught in a web of ambition, military conflict, and shifting alliances, ultimately falling victim to the ruthless elimination of rivals that was a hallmark of Constantine's consolidation of power. Though his reign was brief, Valens's story offers a glimpse into the volatile politics of the Roman Empire as it transitioned into a new era under Constantine's rule.